Hello, Holy One. Hello, 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 hello. Well, I have cedar wood. You know, I love my cedar wood, and I am thinking of the locomotive. And so, as I'm putting my cedar wood on, I'm intending a connection of grounding and, peace
Thank you. Thank you.
as the locomotive barrels through. That's all I could think of is like,
It is barreling. And I'm part locomotive. My mom is part locomotive. And we may be heading in opposite directions. We may be heading towards each other on the same track.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm sure that's a space of relative connection for so many, especially right now. I feel like I get a lot of emails, about people going home for holidays or seeing spaces of family that they don't see all the time, that aren't like daily connection points. And having more awareness is interesting, isn't it?
It's very interesting. And sometimes the awareness comes after the fact.
Oh, I love that. That
And
is,
so, like, I've been here 10 days now. 5
wow.
is usually the limit I've placed, but I've been here 10,
Yeah.
and, I was trying to get her I had talked to her about some homeopathic tablets for anxiety, and my sister's taken them, and so I got all the information, I got the tablets, and then and my mom, I thought, was interested, um, but then when I showed them to her this morning with the directions, "Well, I don't know how those will work with my medications," and I'm like
Mhm.
I stopped myself right there, and I thought,
Mhm.
"I am not taking this any further. I'm just dropping the subject because
Mhm.
there's no sense trying to talk her into it." You
Mhm.
know? And I've realized that, that's what I spend a lot of time trying to do is I think I have a good idea, and it's not her idea, or she doesn't agree with or whatever, and I just have to stop. I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah, no, and isn't it an incredibly freeing space though when you start being okay with stopping?
Yeah.
Because I remember those spaces being like, and I still have pockets here and there with certain people that, it's not like because you learn it with one person in one space that it just, umbrellas everything. It has to be, in my experience, it offers its reapplication with, all the different spaces of connection we hold. But the moment that I decided, that's an important word, right? Decided to stop either trying to, have the answer or offer the answer or fix the space or whatever it was, it was so freeing because I don't know, I think sometimes we think we're doing it for them, and there's a part of it where we are, absolutely. It's general care and love, But then for some reason, I think there's a part of it that almost is like feeling as if, and you, please tell me what you think on your end, but like that savior syndrome, feeling like you have to save, you have to step up, you have to, initiate something to help whoever it is. And it's not that we're not helpful people, it's just that we realize in certain situations, it may not be helpful, and it may be more helpful to allow them to navigate in their own way and find their own answer or whatever that is. But I think that, yeah, that space you mentioned of stopping, That's important. That's a very powerful word, stopping. It
My
speaks
mom
volumes.
is, there's some things I can't stop with her though. And like, and this has happened over and over and over again. Like, she gets sick. She is on, you think she's on her deathbed bed. And I do come up and I get into that savior syndrome. I think I have to be doing everything for her. And at first I do, but so far, every time this has happened, including this time, which I really thought she was on her deathbed this time, maybe. Every time I get here, she starts getting better every day. And
Mm,
then she needs less and less help. She gets more and more independent. I've set up all these services for her, and she's just like backtracking like every day. I could tell just a little bit. Well, there isn't a contract on this, is there? If I decide I don't want this service,
mm,
I can end it. And
mhm,
so it's been interesting watching it, and I'm just realized I'm up here to do this, is what she initially asked for,
mhm,
and I've gotten like an in-home companion several couple hours, several days a week. I've gotten her a medical alert necklace.
okay.
She has physical therapy coming in for a while, and she doesn't like some of that because she's starting to feel better. But I just said, you want to stay at home. And if you want to stay at home, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's important. And I think you're bringing yourself such a big message here. I mean, there's probably many, but one of them could be that she starts to get better when you're there. So,
Yes,
of course,
that's part,
it's
it's part
like
of it
a,
is me. It's my
yeah,
relationship with her.
yeah,
Whatever it is, it's almost magical. I've seen it so many times. It's like
yeah,
I show up and something about me being there
yeah.
and that, and she starts getting better every day.
Well, have you ever heard about the scientific study they did on the cells? Yeah, when a woman gets pregnant and she has the baby inside her body, that there are cells present in the baby's body and in the mom's body because she's pregnant, connected to the child, that I think I'm saying this correctly. And if I'm not, just will all just love me through it. But after you give birth to the child, so after your mother gave birth to you, these cells that are relative to you being in her, to her creating that life vessel for you to use, they remain with the mother. A certain amount do. And as the mother navigates life, if she hits a space of illness or difficulty in her body, the cells relative to the child come in first and in some way try to protect the mother and get rid of whatever's trying to harm the mother.
Oh, wow.
It's really fascinating. But when you're talking, I can't help but see like the outer version of that. So you coming in when
Hmm.
something's harming her, and just you coming in is creating a space for her where she feels as if it's safe to heal or something like that. Now, some could look at it a little differently, maybe, and they think that she's doing it because she wants you to come and she knows if she's not doing well, you'll come and then she gets time with you. And of course, there could be something in there of that, that she may not even be aware of running that,
Right.
subconscious
I
thing or
think there's a
something.
little bit of a mixture.
Yeah, but I definitely get the whole magical space because Sydney, my Sydney, my daughter,
Mhm.
um, we have this inside saying between the two of us. And if anybody has ever seen the movie E.T. and Elliot, or E.T., you'll really get it. So Elliot was the little boy who found E.T., the extraterrestrial being, little guy, and took care of him when he was stuck on Earth. Do you remember that movie? Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
It scared my
everything
daughter.
it's it's a really, really good movie. I watched it again. I think it was the 40th anniversary or something, or 20th, I don't know, but
I
um
remember you saying that because they changed something in the movie, didn't they?
they did. They
Yeah.
did. Yeah. Yeah. I would love to talk about that as well. But the magical part with you and your mom reminds me of me and Sydney and I, and the E.T. and Elliot factor. That's what we call it, E.T. and Elliot factor. And if you know the movie, you know that as E.T. became ill, Elliot became ill. And when they tried to pull them apart, E.T. got worse. And then when Elliot found him again, he was able to kind of bring him back and then get him, where he needed to be in a sense. But that kind of reminded me of that when you said it's magical. And so Sydney and I, we have this interconnectedness, as I do as well with my daughter Jamie, but we just make a joke of it. And she made me a bracelet, with the beads and the letters, and she spelled out Elliot.
I love it.
So I have this bracelet that says Elliot, and I think hers says ET, but I'm not sure.
There is so much of the unseen that goes on in situations like that. I remember when my son was 5 years old, he had an anaphylactic reaction to something, and it was this classic textbook. The doctor got the textbook out and showed me, and it went on for like 6 weeks, and it was really painful, and had this rash. It would move all around his body, and they were concerned about his kidneys being damaged. And so we finally decided it was time for him to go to the hospital. And honest to God, a couple of hours before we were getting ready to leave, a neighbor sent a flower arrangement in a ceramic white bunny. And my son saw those flowers and that bunny, and he immediately started getting better. He never went to the hospital.
Wow.
It was, it
Oh, that's
was,
so cool.
it's one of those moments you just never forget. And I
Yeah.
still, when I still think about it, I mean, it's enough to bring tears because
Yeah.
it was so beautiful and so innocent,
Yeah.
and it was magical.
Yeah.
Just something about, it may be partly the person who sent it, but it
Mhm.
also had to do with the flowers, I'm sure, and the bunny, I think, was a big part of it.
Mhm.
And he was just like, "Oh, it's a
Yeah.
bunny." And then boom.
Yeah. And they may have had intentions when they purchased it.
Yeah,
Intentions are so powerful, and they may have really felt into the, I hope you feel better. I
yeah.
really hope you feel better. And then here he does, I love that. It made me think of how powerful we are and what we can offer in it, like you said, so simple, so easy. It doesn't have to be the self-sacrificing martyr to
Right.
save anyone, right? The intention of seeing him well, and holding that, and then sending something joyful, yeah, that he could connect in with and see, and that energy was carried in it. That's beautiful.
Because
That's
I was really in a fear mode at that point. I mean, it had gone on so long, and he was just in so much pain. It was horrible. But yeah, after 6 weeks, boom, like within a day or two, but from that moment,
yeah,
I think he had been vomiting or something, and he quit like right after that. And so he was able to continue the medicine.
yeah.
And so,
It was able to help him and work with him
yeah,
probably, yeah.
yeah.
And talk about going down the rabbit hole. Excuse me. I had to say it. I had to say it. I had
You
to
did,
say
that
it.
escapes me. But now I'm going to think about it every time I think of the rabbit.
Oh, well, so are you still at your mom's?
Oh, yes, I'm still at my mother's.
So today was meetings, finding people
It
or
was
something?
2 more we've had meetings, I don't know, all week long, I think. We've got one more tomorrow, and then that's it. But I had to I had to carve this space out. I told her that I had this Zoom, and then
Oh.
about 15 minutes before it, she was having trouble making a doctor's appointment. I just want to show you this little thing. I just want to show you this. And then she hit the wrong button. And so she said, "Okay, can we do this again?" And I said, "No, we can't." it will have to be later. And then I
Good
just
for
turned around and came in the
you.
bed. I just turned around and came in the bedroom. That's where I am, is in the bedroom, sitting on the
S-
bed.
That was a beautiful moment of self-love.
I had to do it.
No, good for you. Like, I'm so proud of you in so many ways. And it doesn't harm or hurt anything, you know? I mean, it's like an hour of time and you've been there 10 days. I mean, come on. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, is there a leaving date in mind or are we playing it by ear?
Well, I'm Frank is coming back up, I think on Sunday, and we'll probably leave Monday or Tuesday then.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I get you. So you're at the end of the space there.
And I do have lunch with a girlfriend that I went to college with tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that.
That's nice. Yeah. That'll
And
be good. Self-love,
yeah.
self-care. So, your son, did he find he's moving out, right? That's part of this?
He's he's planning on it, but he hasn't found a house. This is interesting. He had not found a house yet, and here in this city, the in his price range, things have been pretty flat as far as choices go. But since I've been here, two have come up on the market. And I
More
think
magic.
yes, exactly. I'm like, damn, this was I had something to do with this. I'm pretty
You
sure that I
do.
manifested this.
Well, take into consideration the space you're vibrating at. I want to hear the rest of the story, but seriously, have you thought about that? You vibrate at a much higher rate than you used to. And so you
Yeah.
come into these spaces and you're going to affect the spaces. All right, go for it. So, two more came on the market since you've been there.
Well, and one of them he wasn't decided not to look at, but this one is like $30,000 less, and
Oh,
it's in this area of older homes, and I love these older homes. It was like built in
mhm.
the 20s, you
So
know.
much character.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. He sent me some pictures, and I know not to push him, but I
Right.
want to. I
No,
want to
that's
say,
good.
get out there and get that house. But no,
Yeah,
I can't. I just have been very
right.
supportive and said, "Oh my God, that looks so beautiful. I love it."
Great.
You
Yeah,
know.
smart,
So
smart.
so anyway, yeah.
That's
So I'm
good.
hoping. Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be crazy funny and wonderful if if it happened while I'm here?
Well, I think before we end the call, we should do a little blessing on it. If you'd like, we'll do a little
I'm up
blessing.
for that. Yeah.
Okay, okay. No, I love that. I love that. So then two more meetings or something like that tomorrow for caregiver spaces or
One meeting tomorrow
okay.
for she's going to get some physical therapy.
Oh, yes.
And
Okay.
and we talked about this. Her insurance will pay for it. The the social worker thought it would be helpful to get stronger because she's been so sick. She just is
Lost
weaker.
a lot of
So
muscle,
then
probably.
then when I tell her today that they're coming tomorrow, well, you didn't really talk that much with me about it. I don't think I'm going to need any physical therapy. I'm doing really good.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
we did talk about it, and
Yeah.
insurance is covering this, and it's going to help make you
Right.
stronger.
Oh
And
my God. It's if somebody said, "Hey, I'll pay for your to have a trainer," which is
yeah,
basically what it is, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
I
And
would
just
be like,
like every 2 days
"Yes,
a week,
send the trainer."
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll include that in the energy work.
Yeah, I want to put that in the energy work. I mean, it's like I said, that's when I wrote down because I have to write everything down, and she's hearing impaired, and I said, "You want to live in this house the rest of your life. This is how it's going to be. You're going to need help." And it is a fact. I mean, she's 91 years old. She
Oh my
wants to
God. Yeah, she's amazing that
probably,
she's still doing what she's doing and everything. Like, just
yeah,
go with the flow on this. Like,
yeah,
allow.
yeah.
She'll be
So
so much happier on the other side of it. She really
I
will.
hope so.
I think so. Just moving into that space of realizing nothing's been lost, but more has been gained, because I think
Yeah, it's nothing but help for her.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but it's
It's
hard
easy
when you're the one
to-
entering into the space and the
Yeah,
space is unknown. So it gets to be where you start. It's so natural. So many of us do it on all levels, like even a call we have to make that we don't really want to make because we just don't know the person or we don't know the space. And we put it off and we put it off and we put it off. But once we make the call, it's like, why did we put it off? It was so
yeah,
easy,
and I hope that's where she lands.
Yeah.
With her, she's very independent, and which is good, but to the point of like what's the word I want to use? It's not always to her benefit.
Detriment,
Yes,
self-detriment.
yes, it's not always beneficial to her because she can be overly, the stronger she's gotten, she's like, Janet, you never sit down. What are you doing? That I can do that. And I'm like, this is why I'm here. This is to help you. So I just keep plowing ahead.
Well, the fact that it's been 10 days and you are giggling and present in a Zoom space and didn't cancel and
Yeah. I
have
thought about
another few days
canceling.
left and what?
I thought about canceling.
Oh, when
I,
I gave you the chance, did you see? I'm like, if you need to move it, just let me know. We'll move
no,
it.
I knew I would feel better once I started talking to you.
Oh,
And
I
like
love
I
it.
already feel better. I was really
Yeah.
tired before you called. And then the other night I hit bottom the other night, but then I've like revived myself, which is a really amazing thing
It
because I
is.
used to hit rock bottom and I would stay there for like weeks.
Yes. No, it's amazing to watch this space with love and um, confirmation with you. I can't believe that it was basically 5 years ago when we had the first conversation about this space.
Yeah.
Over five now, really. It was spring 5 years ago, so we're already in winter. But how how things have changed,
They
but
have.
but you have changed, that's the whole thing we talk about all the time, right? Nothing outside can change until the inside does. So
I will have to say, um, my mom, I've seen a lot of changes in my mom since I've changed. And
and that's
she's
something.
like, it's almost like I've set the boundaries and it's like I can see she hesitates a lot of times before she'll even say something, you know? Um, and I know it's all because like it's been me. I've had to set boundaries, and so it's interesting seeing the changes in her. It was
that is,
easier to be around for the most part, you know.
that's one of the biggest spaces that we take the longest to realize or to allow or to accept or to um, connect into is the understanding that we most people, and I was one of them for a very, very long time. We look at the outer reflection or the relationships we have, right? And we hope for the day when they will be different.
Exactly. Hope for the rest of your life.
And then if we're truly allowing the evolution of our being, the expansion of our consciousness, the opening of our mind, we realize that that cannot happen around us, outside of us, until it happens within us. And when we start,
Anybody else, it's got to be, in this case, it's got to be me.
it's got to be me. That maybe should be a
I think that
t-shirt.
should be a song. Write a song.
I love it. I love it. You should do it. You should write a song. It's got to be me. Let your heart bring forth the information and use your drum. I would think that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I love when you do your drumming videos. They're so powerful and they're so beautiful, whether you chant or sing or tone or drum alone or whatever it is. They're so grounding to me. They're so grounding, um, peaceful, calming, resetting. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I'm glad you see that. I was looking for something else today and I came across a drumming that I had done at Destin Rising this year.
Oh, wow.
Uh, I had gone down to the beach and it was a full moon and the waves, you could see the waves. The moon was glistening on top of the waves and
Oh
stuff.
my
And I had gone down there and when I came back, I said, there was nobody on the beach on a full moon. I can't understand why. Then the next day, Frank saw this sign that said, no one on the beach after 10 o'clock. I'm like, oh, okay. That's why I was the only one down the beach. But I did take time to video myself. The whole point I'm trying to get across is that I sat there listening to that and I'm like, wow. Because I always think of you saying it's grounding. And I'm like, I feel so grounded. Like I could see the waves, I could hear the waves, I could hear the drum. And it was just like this heartbeat, just going. I'll have to send you that video. So yeah, it is grounding.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I think you shared it when we were there, maybe, but I haven't seen it again recently. I would love to connect with it again. And that's beautiful. I think you didn't see the sign because you needed to make the content and the space. So um, the sign wasn't for you, you know?
Obviously.
That was a really beautiful space, though. You've done so many of the Time to Rises. You've done multiple Destins, multiple Sedonas, and they're all so beautiful. There's not, a way to say, oh, that was the best, but they're also unique as well, And I thought this last year, uh, the energy's so high. I thought that Destin and Sedona were another level. I know we say that a lot, but I really felt them at another level. Like it was just the energies of us, the energies of the space, so different, so different. I'm so grateful we do these. I'm so grateful we've done these. Like, I know that when we do these gathering event spaces, we all hold the understanding of a self space, like rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, reset, right? But then we're all ready and able and open, which I love about our group, to also then anchor and facilitate these spaces of portal activation and ancients rising and ancestral lineage healing. And it's like, we just do it. We just show up and we just do it. Nobody needs massive teaching or guidance on how to be it. You guys are so trusting and present and they're powerful spaces. But do you see that as well?
Yeah, I've gone to three of each. And
Okay,
um,
cool, cool.
I do love the ocean and I like being down there and that whole energy and having the group together and feeling that. But there's something about Sedona when the sessions are combined with like when you're climbing Cathedral Rock. I mean, it's a big, huge deal. Like it's a big, huge deal. And like I'm kind of the point where I'm like, I don't know if I need to do those again because I've done them, I mastered them. It's like, but it's so fulfilling because
Mhm.
you have these physical endeavors that
Yeah,
you are pushing yourself like to the max.
yeah.
And it's not that hard, everybody. It's just you really do it, okay?
It really isn't. It
It isn't because there's Dirk is there helping your husband, and sometimes there's other guys to help. but it still is, and it's a group effort. We're all,
Yes.
this energy is all in this group,
So
and
supportive.
focus is we are going to get to
We
the
are going
top
to the
of
top.
this
We.
climb. And
Yes.
everybody helps everybody. And sometimes we picked up other people along the way.
Yes.
We picked up
We
that
don't
woman
even
last year,
know.
and oh my God, I loved her. She was just like so into it, and she just hung out with us like the whole rest of the trip. And then we've had people that, like, during the sessions this
Yeah.
year in
Yeah.
Sedona, there was that one woman who started crying listening to you talking, and then she had kind of a little session, and it's just all these, um, I don't know, that there's just all these opportunities for really coming into contact with other people and different situations, because everyone climbing these, years ago, my husband and I went to Arches National Park, and we didn't know that it was a school holiday. And for the first time, they actually closed the park at a certain point because there were so many people coming in.
Oh my
And
goodness.
we were the last car that got in
Oh my goodness.
until people started coming out. So we, like, I pictured this really quiet, intimate,
Mm-hmm.
like, well, there were probably like 100 people. There were grandparents,
Mm.
they're the kids, the grandkids, all these little school kids. People were carrying babies on their backpacks. And like after I readjusted, and like at first it was like, oh my God, there's too many people. I'm supposed to be out in the middle of nowhere. But it's just like at Sedona. Everybody had a focus to get to Arches. And it's a climb. It's
Mm.
slow, but it's an incline, and it takes, and then you got to go around this cliff where there's like a big drop off.
Mm.
It's like we all became one,
Mm. I
you know.
love that.
Now they may
Yeah.
not have thought that, but I was just
But you
like,
felt it.
I
Yeah.
felt it, and I've told friends about it, and they're like, "Oh, I could never do that. I wouldn't want to be around that many people." I'm like, "Well,
Mm.
oh, it was like a." I just love how it opens it up to new
It
experience. As
does.
and in Sedona, for some reason, we're more prone to come across other people,
Yeah.
um, in that situation where everyone has this goal of going up a certain rock, or a certain climb.
Mhm.
And I just love the stray people that we pick up along the way.
I love the stray people.
We're like the
I
Acasma magnet.
I love that. And we always do pick them up. You're right. And it doesn't happen in Destin. It
No,
happens in Sedona.
no.
Destin is a bit more secluded where we go, though. It
Yeah,
is a little
it
bit
is.
quieter. Yeah. But you know what's fascinating to me about Sedona is we have picked up many a stray. That is true. And I love those moments because, like, that woman crying at, I think it was Oak Creek or something they call it when we were at West Forks Trail.
Yeah.
And I had been drumming and singing and chanting. And I just allowed, and it was pretty open, the channel of love. And she was just standing there, like 6 feet away from me, right? Um, Tears in her eyes, just wanting to tell me it was beautiful. But at the same time, it's like fascinating to me. The Sedona is a much busier place, and there have been times where we have needed, I would say needed, but that's not the perfect word, but we're just going to allow it, work with it. We have needed more privacy or seclusion or sacredness or something, like when we were at the top of Cathedral and we put our heads on the rock face and you just stand there and you connect in and you open the portal, or when we were in Birthing Cave and it was getting busier and busier and busier and we were finishing up the space and then we were going to walk out and chant and sing and drum with your glorious drum you had brought for us. There's been a couple points where we've needed it to be a little bit more sacred, and it just magically happens, like nobody bothers us or like tries to get, or says we can't do it, or like asks
Right.
us.
And there are people that actually, in the birthing cave, there were a couple of women that were just there being very quiet and just
Mm.
absorbing it all. And so it's like some people are still drawn to it, but they're so respectful, and they hold the space with the rest of us. I
No,
guess.
that is a really good point. it's almost to me, and maybe you feel the same way or somewhat similar. I feel like the people that the people that do that, you know, they find their way, they happen to cross paths with us when we're doing something like a sacred ceremony or something, and they're drawn in. They're so polite, they're so respectful,
Yeah.
but they know they need to be there. They know
Yeah.
they,
Yes. It's
yeah,
and I believe that they have like they've manifested that. I mean,
absolutely. I was
decided
going to say the
that
same thing.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fully connected to the space. They just didn't find us in the sacredexpansion.com or the grid or
And
whatever.
into us consciously, but it's
Yeah,
like they were guided,
yeah.
by their higher aspects of themselves, I guess you would say.
And it's such a beautiful thing to think of what they're bringing in because every person, all of you that are there for these A Time to Rise gatherings that we've been doing, your energy, your vibration, your presence has been an anchor point and an expansive point, which are really incredible to have in the same being. What do I mean? For anyone wondering, we have the ability to not only anchor our higher flow, but also to expand it and amplify it outward, you know? And that's assisting ascension right now on the planet Earth in humanity's collective. And so when we do these gatherings, these people that feel drawn to do them, you and many others, even the ones that come in through the stray space, right? You guys are anchoring it, you're grounding in these higher energy spaces of consciousness, and then poof, you're amplifying them out into the field. Uh, and so even these individuals that find us along the path, they signed up. That's how I look at it. They signed up in the quantum field that they needed to be there, and they somehow designed and aligned the moment of connection.
And then we
Just,
feel that connection too. I mean, there's just I just feel my heart open up more when
mm,
those people those people join the
I
group.
do too.
It's like, hey, well, come on.
Yes, yes, yes. It's so
It's like I feel
beautiful.
my heart expand every time that someone, comes to the group and joins us. And then
Yeah.
uh, a couple of years ago when we were at that same space, oh, we were where the cliffs are, where the little
Oh,
kind of cave goes in and the water.
yeah, the water part. Yeah.
We're drumming and singing, and there was somebody up above. When you stopped, they yelled down, "Don't stop! We love it!"
I love that part.
And people we don't even see are affected by it.
No, that was incredible. So we were standing at a beautiful sandy area with a water area, and then a rock went way high up, like a cliff, you know. And so we were singing, and I was toning at the wall to allow it to echo, you know,
It was
reverberate.
beautiful.
And so then this area had like a bend, so you couldn't see directly down it, right? But it just went on and on and on into nature.
Mhm.
And so as we allowed the chanting and the toning and the song, and then we stopped, and then what you just said, we heard this voice echo down the cavern
It
around the
wasn't echo.
wall.
It was like, an angel calling down, "Stop, we love it."
It was so beautiful. It's one of my favorite moments. It
Yeah,
really is.
I remember that too. It's, like, so interesting that those moments are the ones that stick out. Of all the things we see and do, there is someone yelling down, "Don't stop!" It's like,
And interestingly enough, that hike, that's West Forks Trail, that hike is the easiest hike because it's
yes.
mainly just flatland walk, you know. You're not climbing a red rock formation like Cathedral or Bell or Birthing Cave. But that hike has been, I think, the most productive for the stray,
Yeah.
that we end up with these individuals saying things or coming in and joining us year after year after year. So it's really beautiful. It's really, really special. And it's interesting because the Time to Rises, these event spaces that we do, we started them in 2020 in late spring, early summer. So it was like May, I think, when I did April, I did my first one. But I just realized this the other day. I was on a call with Trudy, and I just realized I did them before I even uttered the word Acasma in this lifetime. And that was so weird to realize. And I was realizing we were setting the stage. Because when we do these gatherings, we talk about at a retreat or a gathering, you think of self expansion and self restoration and, relaxation. And they, they are that. They have that available, absolutely. But they really have been from the very beginning the opening of higher consciousness in the now. And when we've been in these spaces, Sedona, Destin, we've been actually moving the energy of the alignment that Earth holds with the quantum field and the alignment that humanity holds with the quantum field. And these people who have just felt drawn, felt called to be in these spaces, you and many others, signed on for this. And it's so fun because the first time somebody comes to one of these, they think of most of the time, not all the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they think of like cucumbers on their eyes and relaxation. And they come to these spaces that I hold, and they are loved and they are nurtured, absolutely, but not cucumbers on the eyes. Um,
In your own time.
but they are given the opportunity to remember more of who they are, and they are given the opportunity to be it. Because the trust level I hold with each and every one of you, I think it's very apparent. Do you say it's apparent that I trust you completely
Definitely.
and that I know you have the capability and the alignment of you is in place for you to anchor the higher light and for you to emanate the higher light and for you to assist the higher light. There's never, I don't even try to teach you. I don't try to guide you. I don't try to tell you, do it this way. We just basically all do it, right?
Yeah.
I love that. I think that speaks volumes about,
It's really organic the way it
yes, yeah,
unfolds.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that allows for the trust yourself, because that's a saying in our group, right? In our community, in our family of light, trust yourself. I think that is the epitome of it. Like, if I'm going to tell you to trust yourself, then why the heck am I going to tell you how to do that?
Right.
And I know in the beginning it can seem a little weird. Kirsten, we love her. She said, and she would laugh hearing this, I know, because she's so good about sharing this understanding, because it's a good, helpful thought. But she said in the beginning when she first did the very first, I think it was Sedona, Time to Rise, she said it took her about a day to wrap her head around this wasn't what she thought it was going to be, you know, and it was different. But then she realized when she wrapped her head around it, what it was, she was realized how empowering it was. And she said she embraced that. And it was another level of her that was able to show up because she wasn't waiting for me to tell her who she was. She was allowing herself to allow that space of alignment. So it was
Love that.
incredible. Yeah, it was really beautiful to hear her share that thought with me. Um, So yeah, now we've had 5 years of them. Like, how did we do this so fast? 5 years, and we've had 5 years of the grid, and I think we've had 3 years of the pods. But maybe you remember. Do you remember when we started the pods?
And maybe 4 years.
You think it's four?
I
Okay.
think I'm not positive. I would have to go back and look.
Yeah, we should. I should document better. But you are the OG. You're the original. You're the original pod leader who is still here. Beautiful Holly after that, and then Kirsten after that, and we have the three pods, and you're the beacons of love. So, what
Yes.
is it like being a pod leader, an Acasma leader of light?
Well, I guess it's lots of different things. And I think about it almost every day because it changes every day.
Mm,
So, what is it like? Well, I love watching how so many people in my pod have um, expanded,
mm,
and I love watching their growth. And I feel like I'm their mother or their grandmother. And they're all my little chicks. And it's not our place to tell them how they should do things or what they should do, but they get it on their own. And they're just so excited about,
mhm.
Acasma, and there's just so many personal stories, and we've seen so many people just make these amazing quantum leaps in their life from, just their everyday life and their spiritual life with their families.
Yeah.
And it's a safe, which we always say, it's a safe place to share. You are loved, you are safe. And so people feel, not everyone, but I think everyone knows in their hearts that they can be as vulnerable as they want. And
Yeah.
there is no judgment absolutely whatsoever. And lately in our pod, we've had some really beautiful, vulnerable shares from people. And it's just so moving. Like, yeah, it's just, I find it, I mean, sometimes, I don't always have the time to get in the way I want to, and I get a little bit stressed out about it, but then I'm like, "Oh, I don't need to do that. Why am I getting stressed out? I don't need to be in there all the time." And a lot of times I find it very grounding, just like, you know, going in and reading the posts, and then just I can make some comments. And so, yeah. So
No, I know they love you. I know they're very grateful for you, and I know they look up to you. They respect you. I know they honor you. They
I
really.
got the sweetest birthday comments.
Mm,
I've just like made my heart pitter patter.
mm. That's beautiful, and you deserve it. You deserve it. You are a fantastic leader. You're unwavering, which I'm extremely grateful for. The community we have has grown, and it is growing tremendously. And to have your unwavering presence has been a blessing. So thank you for that. Um, you're just this grounding rock solid formation or foundation space that I don't even ever question. I know you will be there, and I know that you will offer love and a cosmic consciousness. And a lot of people may not understand a Cosmo yet, even the ones that are in the pod. They're still learning, but they're drawn to it. They're just attracted to the space. It resonates. It feels good. It feels like home, feels safe. And that's all part of the journey of the self expansion, of just allowing and trusting and leaning in. And the Acasma space is so vast, I won't even try to put it into this video completely here. But it's this understanding of a space of ourselves that we have realigned with energetically, consciously, vibrationally. And because of that realignment, we're hearing, we're seeing, we're feeling at a deeper, more sacred level of our beings. And a cosmic consciousness is all about that. A cosmic quantum energy is all about that. And this space we're talking about is the Acasma pods of light, which offer beautiful community to support that remembrance, to support that expansiveness of the being into that realignment of the self that you are. It's your essence and it's your core, it's your origin. And in this now human experience, you're remembering that that's who you are. So the pods nurture that remembrance. Janet Kate is extremely good at Salt and pepper. Why? What do I mean? She will salt the pod with teachings of Acasma, and then she will pepper the pod with everyday application, which is very important because you can learn all kinds of teachings, right? But it's that being able to implement into daily life that really matters. I can't hear you. Did you mute? Check your
I
mic.
muted. Yes,
Okay,
I did it
okay, you're
accidentally.
back.
I have,
Okay, so what about the pepper? You came in on the pepper,
uh,
daily
so
life.
so yeah, the daily life. I've started doing that because I feel like, I mean, okay, so there's a Cosma that is sort of up here, but we're living a daily life and we're trying to balance both of them
And draw it down into
and
the
draw
daily
it down
life.
into our life.
Yeah.
And so I have started just more peppering about everyday life.
And
And
that's so important because
so yeah, that's what I've been doing. And also it's being a pod leader, it's a good way to check your ego at the door too.
it really is leadership in general, really. Good leadership means that you're coming from love. You're coming from really wanting everyone to be able to be their best now, not at the exaltation of ourselves, but be their best now, period.
Yeah. And so I've tried to share personal experiences to let people know that, you know, even if you are a cosmopod leader, you still have a life to live. Like I am navigating this
Yeah,
experience with my mother up here.
yeah.
And it's gritty and it's not fun sometimes. And it's, ugh, but you draw a Cosma in and you know, gosh, when you first started talking to me about my mom, I would be practically in a fetal position
Mm.
like every time we talked. And so, yeah, it's a way to navigate everyday human experiences because we came here for the
Yes,
experiences to
we
remember
did.
ourselves.
Yes, it's the perfect space. It's the perfect opportunity. I love that. That's so powerful. The core of what a Cosma is here to be is the assistance of implementation. It is the higher consciousness, it is the higher self, it is the higher heart, it is the higher mind, it is the remembrance of the divine within the form, but it has to be implemented in the everyday life, or it's just a beautiful understanding. It's
Yeah,
not a,
and yeah, that's it. And sometimes it's easy just to stay in that beautiful understanding, you know.
yeah,
It just seems easier. But yeah, we have family, we have friends, we have relationships, we have
jobs, yes, yeah,
jobs, a lot of people, and yeah, so there is life.
yeah.
It needs to be a blend.
That is why we're here. So the Acosma family of light, the Acosma grid of light, the planet of light, the AQE foundation courses, the being the new human classes. Oh my God, could that not be any more written out, in bold print and underlined? Being the new human. It's all about the implementation. It's all
Yeah.
about taking these spaces of connection that are higher dimensional or sacred or divine or all of the above and allowing them to find a way to be implemented in our daily lives that we're aware. Ha, that's a big one, right? That when we're having everyday spaces, we're aware. What does that mean? So Janet Kate has so graciously allowed us to understand a space of her journey with her mother. If Janet is unaware when she is navigating a space with her mom, she's allowing herself then at unawareness to be caught up in the emotions of the space and let them whip her all around. Yes, many, 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 many relate to that. Love the graphic. Thank you.
In a dryer and tumble her around a few times.
But awareness means that Janet Kate is able to kind of step back. We use those words like as a visual or an understanding. Step back so that she's not caught up in it and she can with awareness, observe it just a bit. Maybe some spaces are able to observe longer, deeper, more clearly, and maybe some spaces she's grateful for a second of observation. They're not all the same, right? Am I right there?
Correct. And sometimes the observation comes the
Okay.
after
Talk
being
about that.
surprised.
Can you share that with them? Share that. What does that mean?
Well, um, like it's so easy to like get be going along in life and you hit this old trigger and you react immediately. But then if you are in the observer mode, you can stop and not beat yourself up
Mhm.
and not beat the other person up and just say, "Oh, okay, this, I need to look at this differently. Like, this
Right.
is not working. It has never worked. It's time to step back, take a breath, and be more neutral and try to figure out a different direction."
I love that. That's a very open-minded way of navigating, right? All right, now there's another level.
I did it this morning with my mom. I
Okay.
realized there was a situation where I had suggested something, she wasn't going to go for it. And, 5 years ago, I would have spent so much energy trying to talk her into my way of doing it. But I stopped myself before I even went any further. I'm like, I don't have to go here. I can drop it. This is my mom's thing, has nothing to do with me. If this is her choice, okay, you
Good
know?
for you.
So,
That's
but
so
I still hit that trigger with her. And then I have to step back and go, oh, why did I even try that? It's
okay.
ridiculous. So, yeah.
So there's also we talk about this a lot in Acasma in the Being the New Human classes, especially, and also in foundations, the course space. But we talk about the messages. Have you picked up on any messages you've been sending you, and can you help them understand what we're talking about there?
I mean, here with my mother,
Yeah.
um, oh, you love to put me on the spot. Well, one of the messages that I just talked about is my mom is 91 years old and she is set in her ways. And even though I think that I know something better, there are just some battles that I do not need to enter.
Good
And
for you.
so even if I don't agree with something and she's adamant about it, um, it's her decision. And if it backfires or it doesn't work for her, it's not on me.
Good for you.
And so I guess not not beating myself up, not
No.
taking the blame, not thinking I'm solely responsible. All those things would be messages that I've gotten over the years. And um, this time it could have been so much more brutal for me if I would have come
Mhm.
in like I had 5 years ago.
Mm,
Um,
that's huge.
so yeah, usually the message is like Julia used to say, stay
Stay
in
in
your
your
own
own
lane.
lane. Oh, I love it. I
Oh,
love it.
Julia.
Yes, yes, yes. We love you, Julia. Shit,
And
that
it's
was,
it's true though,
yes.
and I guess that's one of the biggest messages that even though my mother does not know how to stay in her lane,
Yeah, doesn't mean
that's
you,
her thing.
yeah.
I can choose to stay in my lane.
Yes, 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 yes. And you can also set loving boundaries to keep people out of your lane
Yes, and
as
which
well.
I've had to do
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
And
And I love that. And for anyone who's wondering or curious, Julia is a beautiful part of the Acasma family, and worked with the AQE Foundations, also teaches AQE Foundations, and had an understanding at one point that she shared with us of staying in your own lane. And you can look to the left and you can look to the right and you can see what's going on around you. And that's fine, but you don't have to become part of what's going on the left or what's going on the right. You can stay in your own lane.
that's when you're the observer.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. And really, you're only here to be your lane, really, right? Would you agree with that space?
Yes, and the world will be such a peaceful and loving place if everybody would just remember to stay in their effing lane. Okay?
And she's gonna put that effing in highlight and bold, everyone.
I didn't say it. I'm trying to be respectful of you, but I did have to be like the F
No,
word.
it'll help my YouTube video would be okay. So thank you.
That should be
I
a
love it.
banner for Earth and humanity. Like there should be like a speaker like coming down every morning. Stay in your own lane.
Own lane.
Remember, life will be so much easier,
Yes, yes. I love
happier,
it. I
more
love it.
fun.
I love it. That's perfect. That's the best advice for sure. Really good. Oh, I love our talks. I love our talks. I'm so grateful for them. We've been having them for many, many years now. And I told you from the very beginning that you were a grounding point and an anchor. And I know in the beginning, especially, it may have seemed like odd or like, really?
Like,
Uh,
what is she talking about?
Eh, I felt it from the very beginning, but again, that's a great understanding or like an illustration, a visual for people of how there can be different vantage points and the perceptions at hand that are experiencing alignments and spaces according to those interpretations. And my interpretation from day one with you was that you had found your way into my path as for my side of it to assist with grounding, that I was carrying extremely high energy spaces of alignments and I was needed to do this, but that you knew I needed to have a space that I could feel grounded in, that I could feel loved in, that I could feel safe in very easily. And you've been that space for me from day one.
Thank
Ha!
you.
So
Thank
thank you
you.
so much, Holy One.
Obviously, we aligned this in the quantum. We
Yes.
we had an agreement. Okay, let's wait till 2020. Okay, it's 2020.
Boom. And
It
how
literally was boom.
yeah, yeah, it is absolutely. And fascinatingly enough, so I speak about how you're one of the original pod members, pod leaders, both. And that's because there's been other leaders, right? But they've gone on to do other things or been involved in other spaces. But you have not left. You have been unwavering. And again, the door's always open. Of course, I'd love you no matter what. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love you no matter what. But yes, your presence was already being this anchor before the pods were even built, before the grid was even built. You showed up. Do you see that? It's so beautiful. When we say in Acasma all the time, we say trust, trust yourself, allow the space, right? Those are the common some of the common phrases. But it's this kind of moment that reminds us why we can. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That we've always got our backs. We've always got everything we need. We're always going to have the right people come in at the right time, no matter what it looks like right now. Whoever's hearing this or seeing this. Allow the trust. Allow the trust, and all the spaces that you can trust will show up.
It's like in
Allow the
Sedona,
trust.
it's like at the LA Expo. There'll be people coming again next year that will like be drawn to your booth. They may not know why, but they'll just like it's like a
Yeah,
magnet. They'll find
I
their way.
love that. Yeah. And you're part of the LA Expo team. So thank you so much for being a part of the team. You don't go to the physicality space, but you knew you were going to be an anchor of that, even so.
Yeah.
And you did that for 2024, and now you've said, okay, I'll do it again for 2025. And we're so grateful. We're so grateful for your anchorship of the space and of us. And we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be an epic space. Los Angeles, Conscious Life Expo, February 7th through 9th, 2025. All the information's available on my website, sacredexpansion.com. Quantum Kate is a anchor point. She is a valuable team member. We are very grateful for her. She was preparing the space of California before we even knew we were going there.
I love that.
I mean, you just cannot make it up, right?
And I chose Los Angeles. That was, you
I
gave me
know
a
you
choice.
chose Los Angeles on top of it all. And I had no idea we were going to be going to Los Angeles. Oh, I love it. So many beautiful connection points. They're just so rich and so incredibly
Yeah, and
powerful.
then after that, after you decided you were going, I came across a postcard. It had come with something I had ordered, and it was like it was like a copy of a vintage looking
Mm.
postcard, and it was vacationing in Los Angeles.
I remember that. And it was like, are you
Still
kidding
have
me?
that.
What? But we're always sending ourselves messages. We talk about that all the time in a cosmic quantum energy and in the understanding in the community and so forth. Look at the messages. They're all around you, right? They're all around you. I got a magazine. I got a magazine that, like, probably, I guess, a month or two after we had done the work on California. We didn't know we were going to the expo yet. I think it was right around the time I was finding the expo. But I got a magazine in the mail. It was supposed to go to my neighbor that lives down the street. But it was like for clothing and stuff, but it was said California now.
Oh, I love it.
I was
I
like,
I just love messages like that, and people have been sharing some messages in the pod lately, and I have had some message since I've been up here, but I don't remember. I don't remember what it is now. But it's like that is magical.
mhm,
Like
it is.
it's
Yes.
just if you are open,
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't catch it right away, but
Right.
then you'll come back to it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that. That's a message.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness. So everyone who's stayed this long, if you've stayed this long and you're in this space of the video, maybe give yourself the opportunity to look for the messages because you're sending them. Look for them on license plates. Look for them on signs you drive by. Look for them in emails. Look for them in ways in which somebody sends you something, communicates with you. Go ahead.
Jess in our pod, you sent an email this morning, which I hadn't seen yet, about
Oh,
the
Patreon.
human class on Patreon. And she said that she has been getting messages and uh, angel numbers that have been uh, messages for her about her connection to Egypt. And she said she's going out to buy an ankh. And so she was so
Wow.
excited when she saw that email. She said, "This is my message."
Oh my gosh, because I almost didn't put that. It was a photograph of, I think they call it a scarab or something. It's
Yeah.
the
Yes.
beetle, in Egypt. And I almost didn't share that particular photo. I was going to pick a different one, like the traditional being the new human Zoom call on Saturday thing. And then it was like, no, pick the beetle, use the beetle. How cool, right?
Yeah, I know. I know. And somebody else shared with me, they were driving down the road and there's some kind of a big animal on the road. They couldn't figure out what it was. And it was a barred owl
Oh, wow.
sitting on the edge of the road.
Wow.
And I said, "So what was your message?" And she didn't tell me. It's all she said was, when I looked it up, I related to every single thing it said. So I'm like, okay, that was your message.
And the messages, not only can they be more available when we're available to receive them and look for them, but then they become like I find almost like a continual conversation. Like you're never not in communication with yourself, with universe, with source, with God, with the spaces of the divine. When you become open, the opening gets the opportunity to move into a greater connection point the more we allow.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. All right, so we have our expo team meeting tomorrow. Hopefully you can make it. If you can't, I completely understand, but I just love seeing you.
I may not
So
tomorrow, but I will try if I can.
I totally get it. And then we
I
have
think
the
I have a
new,
lunch date tomorrow.
yes, you have a lunch date. You have a lunch date. We have the new human on Saturday. It's
And
a
I
couple,
am so excited about that. And I will have to say, um, this is a plug, but I will have to plug you here. I- The new human classes, I have taken so many different courses from you over the years, but the new human class is still my grounding point. It's like
wow.
I have grown more, learned more, become more, everything more because of those
Oh,
new human classes. I love them. And yeah, so if you're not on Patreon, you might consider subscribing to Andrea's Patreon because you get so many other things like meditations and oh, just so many things. I can't get into my Patreon right now, but I do remember. I remember all the wonderful
we
things.
have
I
to
will
figure
get
that
back
out.
in. I will get back in hopefully this
We
month
have
and
to
not
figure that out.
next month. But I have been missing like the monthly meditation. I love going in. That's the first thing I like listening to is are you still, did you do that this month?
Yes, 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 yes,
Okay.
yes. Every month I do the meditation, and then we
And
have
the
the new
candle ceremony.
human. And then
Yeah.
we also, I've been adding in, I used to do a candle ceremony, but then I understood I needed to do the Acasma quantum energy session, and I needed to just allow that space to just kind of reset everyone accordingly, wherever they are at, to their optimal flow. So I started doing that, I guess, about 2 months ago. But no, I love doing the work. I love the being the new humans, and I love that it came in 2020, and it was the first space. I think I
Because
held.
it was becoming the new human then.
It was becoming in the beginning. Yes, it was. And the first thing I did was an 8/8 portal. I believe on August 8th, I did an 8/8 portal. And then I think in September, we started the new human classes, and they were called Becoming the New Human. And then after a couple of years, it was Being the New Human. And then I think it became New Human.
Yeah.
But we just allow, and the name is just kind of flowing as we flow. But I'm so
I like
grateful.
being the new human.
I like being. We can't do the becoming anymore. We've already become.
Yeah.
So we have to allow the being or the new, because those are the spaces we are. But I am so grateful for you, Holy One.
I am grateful for you. I love you. Thank you for this space. I feel refreshed. It's a nice reprieve. I'm a new woman. Can you tell?
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, we'll take all the newness into the spaces and allow it to anchor and expand in whatever way is most optimal for you and for all the spaces of connection you are holding. Let's allow a blessing if that's okay with you. Let's allow a blessing space. We're going to allow the intention for the movement of energy with the assistance for your mom, and also the movement of energy for the finding of the perfect space for your son. And then we're going to allow anyone who's watching to set the intention for whatever it is they are most in need of right now. So, whatever you're in most need of, if you're listening, if you're watching this space, if it's health, if it's finances, if it's relationship based, whatever it is, whatever space or spaces, let's just allow this alignment. And Janet, Kate, and I are going to hold this space for us, for you, for all, and just allow the energy to move. So we're just going to allow our breath for a moment, please. Just taking a nice deep breath in, nice and slow. Ah, yes, thank you. Beautiful connection. Just allow the space. Yes. Just allow the energies to move. That's what they're doing. The energies of understanding, the energies of remembrance, the energies of peace. Yes. The energies of love, the energies of freedom, the energies of health, the energies of abundance. Yes. The energies of joy. They all exist in the field of limitless potential. Right now, we are allowing the alignment of these spaces. To allow them is to feel them. Yes. To allow them is to intend them, to think about them. Not to think about the lack or the want or the fear or the separation. Those spaces are available as well. But to allow the being, you, to feel into the spaces of availability, of freedom, yes, of peace, of abundance, of health, yes, of love. Allow your breath. Allow yourself to feel into it. Your emotions are powerful. Get excited. Get excited, Holy One. Oh, the joy of the possibility. Yes. Yes. I'm seeing Janet Kate's son informing her here of the space he found. Yes, he's letting her know. The space he's found that is so perfect for him. Yes, I'm feeling that. I'm seeing that. I'm allowing that. And her mother being open and receptive to the spaces of assistance, of love, of nurture. I'm allowing myself to feel the joy I feel when Janet lets me know this has happened. I'm reading her message in my mind and my visualization of these spaces happening, and I'm getting emails from you, Holy One. Yes, I'm hearing from you of the shifts of your life, of your spaces, of your nows. And I'm feeling so excited and so grateful and so joyful. And when I'm feeling these feelings, I'm aligning these, yes, connections. Allow yourself to feel. Yes. Allow yourself to lean in. Allow yourself to trust. Yes. Take a deep breath. We're going to bless this space with you now. We're going to bless these alignments with you now. We're going to hold this alignment with you now. Yana yane yane akokoai. Yana shauai yana kea. Kaokoai yana noa. Yes, it is yours, Holy One. It is yours. It is yours. Yes. Allow the space. Allow the space. Allow the space. Yes. Just gently bring the focus back to the physical when you're ready. Gently bring the focus back to the physical when you're ready. When you bring the focus back, we always do this. We always do this. It's very important. We make note that the vibration is new. What you focus on expands. Janet Kate is focusing on a new vibration in her space and a new vibration in herself and a new vibration in her son and her mother. You have the opportunity to focus on a new vibration in your space, in you and in all the connection points. And I in me. And by allowing that notation, allowing that focus, that space, those spaces get to be. Because we gave them an alignment to plug in. We gave them a space to land. We gave them an energetic connection to run. That's how powerful we are.
Hallelujah, sister.
I
Yes.
wouldn't, I couldn't have ended it any better. Thank you. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Huge wave of love to you, Holy One. Thank you for
Sending you
this.
so much love.
Thank
Love
you
to
for being this space in all the ways that you are. I'm
thank you,
just,
dear
I'm so
Andrew.
grateful. And I've mentioned so many ways in which you are a part of this Acasma outreach and Acasma community and Acasma family, but you're also my best friend.
I
I
love
love
you.
you.
Bestie.
All right. And thank you to all who joined us. Thank you
Yes,
for
thank you,
being in this
everyone.
space. And if you don't already follow Beautiful Quantum Kate, she's on YouTube. Those drumming spaces we mentioned, you can experience them. Go find her channel. There's a link below this video in the description, and you can find her very easily. And follow her, subscribe to her channel, like her content, and show her some love as she has shown us that love. And we're grateful for it. If you're not already part of our beautiful Acasma community, our Acasma Planet of Light and Healing Grid, go to sacredexpansion.com. Again, there's a link right below the video. There's going to be a contact button on the grid page in the menu. Hit grid, and you'll be able to join the community. I think my daughter even put it on the homepage. She helps me with my website. There's a button that says join the free community. Click it. You're going to send me an email. That's what that does. Now, if you want to be in Janet Kate, Quantum Kate's pod, you can add to that email. I want to be in Quantum Kate's pod, Janet Kate's pod, how Beacons of Love pod, and we'll make sure that's where you end up. We have beautiful 3 different pods, though. They're all beautiful. I have a bunch of deer running through my yard right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deer running by the window. How lovely. Babies and mamas. All right. So thank you, dear, for your blessing energy messages. Remember, we talked about messages. So everybody look up deer. Deer's coming in. So let's look up deer. And these are all babies and mamas. So this is community. Ha! This is love in motion. This is nurture, right? All right. We see that with babies and mamas. All
Yeah.
right. So we received the message. Thank you, universe. Thank you, source. Thank you all.
And I just remembered, I had an animal message. I forgot to, I totally went by me today. Javelinas. I have a sister-in-law in Phoenix, and she sent me a video of them running through a yard. And then I thought, I've got a picture from Sedona where they were behind my car in a mud puddle. And so I sent her the picture of the javelinas. And now I'm going to hang up when we hang up here. I'm going to look it up.
I love that. And when we left the birthing cave, the javelinas were behind Chantil and Jerry's car, I believe, in
Oh,
like a little puddle of mud. Yes,
yeah,
yes,
there
yes,
was the
yes,
mud.
yes. All right, that's beautiful. Yes, the deer are running by. They're all like together in this glorious community of family of deer. How community, family. I love it. All right, we'll receive the message.
I'll let you know what javelina is.
Yes, let us know what javelina is. We would love to know. Share that in the Beacons of Love chat. That would be great. All right, Holy One, thank you so much for all that you are. And I love you. I
Love
love
you. I
you.
love you. I love you.
Bye bye.